people? Are we ready for some TPO craziness? Are we ready for just clips, police chases, Judge Bryant, everybody? How we doing, people? Let everybody trickle in. And Judge, I'm calling him Judge Stepbrother now, because he's like a stepbrother that he's cool, like when you're together, like one-on-one, you hang out, you go grab a Frosty at Wendy's, you chill, get a 5-bag or something, and then you go hang out with your friends, like, maybe he'll be cool, and then, like, he's awkward. I'm getting that vibe from him, but he stepped up his game. He's very sarcastic today. He was on his game. Good news, he was on his game. We got some clips. Bad news, he was cutting the streams way too quick. I had to have my finger on the record. I got the best parts of some. This was the last one of the day. This one was hysterical. So let's just listen to it. It is very good. Let's have some fun with it. How we doing, everybody? We are continuing our week of 5K. We are going to have some fun. How we doing, everybody? Let's roll.
In this step, but it's like I said, it was I stayed there. I paid her the first time I got there. I paid her $650, which was June. Then I paid her. We came to an agreement after the flood, or whatever the case may be, in July, that I was going to pay her $500, and I had been paying her $500 plus any additional runs or whatever that she was doing for me. I was the main provider of the food in the house through my food stamps and through additional food and things like that. Like, 'cause she stayed at work all the time, so it was like I hardly ever seen her. So it was like, it's just it's surprising to me. But there was allegations of choking and stealing this, doing this, and all this stuff like that. And it was just like, okay, you never called the police or anything, and I had an active warrant. If you would have done that, then you would have seen, like, I would have got locked up or something like this. It's like you waited for this situation. But hold on, let me finish my story. As of December 13th, her daughter came from Rochester, New York. She came down with 3 kids and 2 suitcases and no money. She talked to me about her daughter coming down, and then she told me that she needed me to stay longer to help her out with the bills and things like that, because she couldn't take care of the kids and take care of all of that by herself. And that my extra income was something that she could utilize. So I told her, I'm like, okay, well, how long do you want me to stay? She told me that she wanted me to stay until February, March of 2023. And she said that come March, I wouldn't have to pay her any rent or anything like that, so I could save my money and move into another place. So I said, okay, we had that agreement. It was a verbal agreement. I didn't get it on contract, but I took pictures of all the rental receipts that she gave me. So I have those as well on my phone. But let me see, where we at? So December 13th, her daughter all the way to December, and that.
Then as a tenant.
Okay.
Now, Ms. Brandon, were you aware that I was under heavy steroid use for the past 5 years and that I have an impotency issue? So you said we shared a sexual bed. How was that possible?
I don't know anything about no impotency. I don't know anything about that.
So if you're if you're hearing little background noise, it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with something that we're playing. For some reason, I don't know if it was the inmate cam or the girl in the car had another device going, and it just looked. You could hear it. It's very faint, but you could hear it. So if you hear it, I can't fix it. It was whoever was listening to it, and Judge Stepbrother did not address it. So it goes off after a little while. It was bothering me too. So if you hear it, just tune it out. It's Judge Stepbrother.
As well, do you have a record yourself?
Irrelevant to this hearing. What's your next question?
I mean, the relevance is, Your Honor, that she said that there were minor kids at the residence from December beyond, and she has a charge on her record as far as an order as well for contributing drugs to a minor. And her,
No,
part
I
of her,
don't.
No, Brandon, hang on. I'm going to jump in here. Here's how protective orders work in Georgia. Protective orders are granted or denied based on the things that happen between the parties. The person who moves in next door to you or moves into your house to rent a room can be the most dangerous person in the world, whoever you want to pick for that. It can be, if you want to go gangster, we'll go Al Capone. If you want to go serial killer, we can go Ted Bundy. They can move into your house, but you have no entitlement to protection under Georgia law via protective order until they commit an act of family violence against you. By the same token, whatever she has or has not done with anyone who's not you is not relevant to this hearing. What I have to determine is whether or not you, Mr. Ayton, have been the primary aggressor, predominant aggressor in an act of family violence that was committed against this petitioner. And so using that same logic, you could have 10 other family violence cases with 10 other people. It would not make, for the most part, it does not make Miss Brannon's case any stronger to know that that exists. What we're here for is the determination of what happened between the two of you.
Okay. Well, as far as any of the accusations in your petition that I've seen, Mrs. Brandon, have you called the police or any? You said I stole from you. You say I took your medicines. You say I abused you. I spit on you. I did all these things to you, but you never called the police, not one time.
I felt sorry for you. You keep saying how sick you are. I felt sorry for you. I liked you a lot. And no, I didn't call the police.
Okay.
You know how many women that don't call the police?
Now, were you aware that I was under hospice care and I was on hospice care from July all the way to December, and that my nurse came every day for 30 hours a week or more? It was December 13th.
No, there was no one coming constantly. I saw somebody 2 times, a different lady 2 times.
Okay. Are you aware that they have documentation with the ACE Care manager who managed my casework that you had served me with the eviction notice that they have in their property, and also that your property had mold damage and things like that of those nature?
My property has nothing. I have no property.
You say you weren't aware of the. You were subletting to me, right? You weren't aware that I had an issue.
I found out whatever you found out. I found out when you found out.
Okay. Also, let me see. What date did you say that your daughter came down to the residence?
I didn't say. I say she was there in December.
Okay. It was December 13th. Did I provide anything for you guys when she came down, like food or anything in that nature?
I have no idea, nothing about any food you're talking about.
Do I get are my prepared meals that I get because of my terminal illness and my hospice care, are they still coming to the house?
I told the people that you don't live there, that you were incarcerated.
Okay. And you say you weren't aware of the you said that you weren't aware that I had an issue with my kid's mother. Actually, it was from this court actually that this situation happened, but you said that you weren't aware that it was an issue that I had a warrant or whatever the case may be, but didn't we together send any information over to the district attorney's office about people lurking outside the house and trying to do things to me because my kid's mother had called the victims of my case and was trying to get me hurt?
I know people.
Who was we?
Can you explain the relevance of this line of questioning, Mr. Ayton?
Your Honor, there was constant reports to the district attorney's office, constant reports to the internal affairs of the fraternity of police that there were people lurking outside the house. This was made aware to Mrs. Brandon. She was present with me when these things were done. I was actually trying to extract an order and extract these TPOs that I had originally had from the airport, which I suffered a miscarriage of justice through this court pertaining to another incident. You said that doesn't have no relevance for this.
So
one.
let me jump in a little bit, Mr. Ayton.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes, and I don't think your video is flipped, so I think I'm getting these directions right. Sometimes you fall off to the right a bit, and when you do that, I start to lose your audio.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It gets muffled or quiet. So you're trying to talk about other TPOs you filed against other people?
No, Your Honor. Like I said, this all stems from.
But he doesn't address the echoing. Like really?
An aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in the case where I had my nose bitten off my face in this county. like I said, I guess I can elaborate on that one when I.
Did he just say he got his nose bitten off? He looks like he has a nose. Does a nose grow back? He just said he got his nose bitten off.
Tell my side of the story, but like I said, me and Mrs. Brandon, like I had a residence. The TPO didn't get extracted when it was supposed to. The person wound up getting out of jail. They wound up tearing up my car, tearing up my residence, and doing more damage and trying to kill me. So it was like,
what does this have to do with Miss Brandon? And
that's when I moved to Connecticut to get away from this person because the police wouldn't help me because of my record. And when I left, my mom's and my grandmother my mom's has a brain tumor, half her brain, and my grandmother has stage 4 stomach cancer. And I was up there helping them, and the harassment continued. So I came down here to extract the orders and try to just get this madness to stop. And that's how I met Miss Brandon. Me and Miss Brandon, we had prior business before because I have a fashion retail business where I sell clothes and things like that legally. I do taxes on my business, and I have a production company. She's a musician as well. She does like vocals and poetry and things like that. And I was trying to help her on that scope, and we kind of linked up like in June of 2022. I called from up in Connecticut, and I told her that I was going to come down and try to extract the orders on my kid's mother. When I came down here, we both had found out that that people actually the hospice care people, because she used to be my caregiver. My kid's mother used to be my caregiver, and they gave her the address of where we were staying at, and she had called like the victims of my case, and they were like casing the house and doing things like that. And at the time, like I had told Mrs. Brandon, what was going on in those scopes, and we have reported it to the district attorney's office, internal affairs. She helped me. I actually have the corresponding emails where I CC'd her on the emails, where she was able to like hold record of it and stuff like that, just in case something had happened or something didn't happen. June 2nd, I moved. I think it was like June 2nd. That's when we signed a contractual agreement that I was going to rent the basement. It was a 2-bedroom. It had a bathroom and everything like that. I moved all my stuff in, my studio equipment, massage tables, all that, down here and stuff like that. I was conducting my business just normally and regularly. We never had any disagreements or anything like that until the basement flooded. I think it was like July, August-ish. And it took them a while to clean up the water and stuff like that. It damaged a lot of my property and things like that. So, I just, like my nurses that used to come to the residence, they were complaining about the mold and stuff like that, still being down there, still being an issue. They were trying to actually get me moved up out of there, but it's just like everything was going on, the pandemic and everything else. So I just was forced to stay down there for that time being, but I had plans on moving. But we never had any arguments or disagreements, or it never fought, or she never really just like, so it's like, she kept making like little passes at me and stuff like that, and things like that, asked me if I like older women and stuff like that. But I just, me going through what I was going through with my kid's mother, still being in that situation right there, and just having my nose bit off my face at September 7th, 2021, I wasn't really in the scopes of a relationship. I mean, I can't even sit here and slander her as a person. I mean, just right here is even coming as a surprise to me that she's taking this step. But it's like I said, it was I stayed there. I paid her the first time I got there. I paid her $650, which was June. Then I paid her. We came to an agreement after the flood, or whatever the case may be, in July, that I was going to pay her $500, and I had been paying her $500 plus any additional runs or whatever that she was doing for me. I was the main provider of the food in the house through my food stamps and through additional foods and things like that. Like, 'cause she stayed at work all the time, so it was like I hardly ever seen her. So it was like, it's just it's surprising to me. But there was allegations of choking and stealing this, doing this, and all this stuff like that. And it was just like, okay, you never called the police or anything, and I had an active warrant. If you would have done that, then you would have seen like I would have got locked up or something like this. It's like you waited for this situation. But hold on, let me just finish my story. As of December 13th,
her daughter came from Rochester, New York. She came down with 3 kids and 2 suitcases and no money. She talked to me about her daughter coming down, and then she told me that she needed me to stay longer to help her out with the bills and things like that because she couldn't take care of the kids and take care of all of that by herself. And that my extra income was something that she could utilize. So I told her, I'm like, okay, well, how long do you want me to stay? She told me that she wanted me to stay until February, March of 2023. And she said that come March, I wouldn't have to pay her any rent or anything like that. So I can save my money and move into another place. So I said, okay, we had that agreement. It was a verbal agreement. I didn't get it on contract, but I took pictures of all the rental receipts that she gave me. So I have those as well on my phone. But let me see where we at. Yeah, so December 13th, her daughter moves in, and we and her were supposed to go half on the groceries, and I wound up giving all my food stamps. Like, her daughter took my car to the store and went and bought groceries for my food stamps and stuff like that. And she didn't put any money, like she put like $50 or something like that. She was supposed to go half. I spent like $180. And I have my kids. I have custody of my other children who at the time, they're the only ones who come to the residence because I'm impotent.
All right, I'm going to jump in now. I don't know how long you've been going for. Did you remember when we were at the part of the proceeding that you were supposed to be asking questions?
Oh,
because we've gone way.
There it was. He cut it. They cut it. I didn't get that last part. I'm sorry. I was a little behind. I had stuff going on. But that was the best part. He goes, weren't you supposed to be asking her questions? All right, here we go. Let's rock and roll. I got a Judge Bryant moment. This one is really good. She's been very, very just not her usual yelling self, but very, I don't know. You tell me. Here we go.
Dark.
Yeah, if Kitch usually gets you
right.
it, she may play it on hers.
It's a little
not,
better,
we'll
not much, but it's a little better. All right.
And die by the record button, guys. Here we go.
This is case number 22-447-1701. The people of the state of Michigan versus Scarlett Harris. The defendant is charged with 1 count of child abuse. 4th degree. Today is the date set for sentencing. Appearances, please.
For the record, Your Honor, Christina Ritter on behalf of the people.
Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Ms. Scarlett Harris. Ms. Harris, ma'am, please tell the judge your full name.
Scarlett Harris.
Your full name?
Scarlett Rachel Aisha Harris.
Thank you, ma'am. Today is the date set for sentencing. The court has had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report. With respect to the pre-sentence report itself, are there any additions, deletions, or corrections on behalf of the people?
Judge, the people did have an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report. I don't see any additions, deletions, or corrections on our behalf.
Any additions, deletions, or corrections on behalf of the defense?
Your Honor, Ms. Harris has had the opportunity to review the pre-sentence investigation report. We would offer the following correction on page 3. It is indicated that Ms. Harris does have an outstanding balance to the 36th District Court of $250, and she wants the court to know that she did pay that $250 this past February. Other than that, we have no additions, deletions, or corrections, and Ms. Harris does stand ready for sentencing.
You're confusing me.
Mm-hmm.
This report is dated March 22nd, 2023. You're saying that she's paying a balance that's still showing up as her own money?
Yes, Your Honor. She indicated that she paid that $250 in February.
Well, she may need to produce a receipt and work that out, because I can't imagine that March 22nd, 2023, when Ms. Tucker did her pre-sentence investigation report, that she had paid that balance a month before that, and it was still showing up as being unpaid. So that's something you all need to clear up anyway. You said that's the only addition, deletion, or correction?
Yes, Your Honor, and I have advised Ms. Harris that she should present whatever proof of payment she has to the probation department.
All right. As to sentencing, anything on behalf of the people?
There's nothing on behalf of the people at this time. Thank you.
Anything on behalf of the defense?
Your Honor, I have been impressed with Ms. Harris's making the probation department aware of the fact that to get in front of this pretty troubling situation, she did enroll herself and her daughter in counseling. To my knowledge, I don't believe there's an open CPS case at this time. I might be incorrect on that, but Ms. Harris has been struggling, but she's availing herself of all resources that she knows of to try to properly parent both of her children. I do believe that she will positively respond to what we hope would be a sentence of probation. And we also had a quick conversation about the consumption of marijuana, that it is unlikely that this court would permit Ms. Harris to continue to test positive for marijuana without a medical marijuana card. So she'll make whatever adjustments are necessary to be in compliance with this court's order. And I believe that Ms. Harris is ready to be sentenced at this time.
Would Ms. Harris like to make a statement on her own behalf?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. I just want to say that I have came a long way. Just going through this whole situation, being able to talk to a counselor, and understanding that I needed one a long time ago. So I think it's something that, for me and my children, actually.
Court is ready to impose sentence. And I will say, I don't know, I don't know. I don't know what the criteria is, and I don't know what goes on in the decision-making, charging decision-making. I don't know. It's been a long time. I don't know what the different degrees of child abuse are. I don't know. I don't know any of that, but I was a little surprised that it appears that this started out as a child abuse 4th degree, ended up as a child abuse 4th degree. And the description of the offense is that she hit her daughter in the back of the head several times with a broom or something, I think. I was confused by the charge, but I'm the judge, I'm not the prosecutor.
Mama tried saying, always stay positive no matter what. She was upbeat today. I have a clip from her today she has an interaction with a pregnant woman, and the woman got mad at her and was scared of her, and she shows another human side today. I'm going to show that Bryant clip too. I'm all about it, Mama tried. Always positive, baby. That's what this room is all about.
It seemed like the baby, the child, I don't know, might have had some type of concussion or something. This is from last year. And then Ms. Stevenson said, she didn't think there was an open CPS case or anything. And then I was thinking it should be some type of open family court case that she was able to successfully complete a reunification plan for. So I'm just very disappointed in what I've read. I'm very disappointed that the system seems to have failed Miss Harris's children. I can't imagine somebody beating a child in the back of the head with a mop broom, and we just coming here to misdemeanor court. There's not even a recommendation for parenting classes in this report, and I just think we're failing. I think we're failing miserably if this is how we're going to handle and protect our children. Am I making any statement about whether or not a parent should have the right to spank their children? No, I'm not. Am I making a statement about whether a parent should have any right to beat their child in the back of the head with a mop handle? Yes, I am. Am I stating that a parent who beats their child in the back of the head with a mop handle should at least at some point have their child taken away from them? Yes, I am. Should they be required to go through family court to be reunified with their child? Yes, they should. And apparently that did not happen in this case. Apparently they're just all living together as if the child didn't get hit in the back of the head with a mop. That's deplorable. That's unacceptable. On every level, that is unacceptable. On every level, whether the child is a model child or not a model child, on every level, that's unacceptable. On every level. On every level. Every level. There's a recommendation for a 12-month probationary period. I'm going to decline that recommendation with respect to the length of probation. I will give Ms. Harris an opportunity to show the court that she is a good candidate for probation. And I'm not going to act as the family court and remove the child from the home as this date of offense is last year in August, and nobody saw fit or a need to do it. So I guess I'm not going to do it. But again, it's my opinion that this is a failure. It's a failure from every level of criminal justice. I think it's a failure. I read on page 4 in her statement that she let alcohol get the best of her, and yet there's no recommendation again as to any alcohol, anything that's dealing with alcohol. You know, I raised a millennial and a Gen Z, I think. And sometimes when I would challenge them for certain things, one of the things that they would say back to me is, you know, they didn't ask to come here. They didn't ask to be here. Are they thankful that they are here? Yes, I suppose they're enjoying life. It's usually when I'm asking them to be adults, to do some adulting. But the truth of the matter is, children don't ask to come here. We as adults make that decision in our personal lives most of the time. There are some times where, unfortunately, that decision may be taken out of our control in some, you know, situations where crimes are committed. But for the most part, we make those decisions. When we make those decisions, we have to know that there are some children who may be a little bit more challenging to deal with. Some of it may have something to do with our own parenting style. Some of it may have to do with some behaviors that they are mirroring that they see in us. But I just need you to understand, Ms. Harris, that this was unacceptable on every level, on every single solitary level. Court is going to impose a probationary period for a term of 18 months. 18 months.
Thank you, France. Very cool.
With the following terms and conditions. Well, the 18-month date is September the 23rd. I'll make September the 23rd. Uh-oh, where's my?
See, am I right? She's out of sorts.
2024 would be the final review date if we get that far.
I think we need to go there.
Of course, Ms. Harris will be eligible for early discharge after 9 months. Court is going to impose the following terms and conditions of probation. You shall not violate any criminal law of any governmental unit. You must not leave the state without the consent of the court. You must make a truthful report to probation on a monthly basis. You must notify probation immediately of any change of address, phone number, or employment status. Ms. Ritter, is this a 1 year or 6 month or 93-day misdemeanor?
Judge, I'm double checking that right now. I believe it's 1 year, but
let me know before I conclude the sentencing.
I will, Judge.
Thank you. You shall pay the following fines, costs, and fees. Court is going to impose the mandatory cost of $210. A $100 attorney's fee, a $500 fine, oversight fees of $35 per month, for a total of $630 for the 18 months, a $100 pre-sentence investigation fee. The total fines, costs, and fees are $1,540. You have the duration of probation to pay that amount. However, you cannot be discharged early with an open balance unless the court has converted some of the fines, costs, and fees to community service, and that has been completed. You shall not possess or use any illegal substance. You shall not use or possess any marijuana without a valid medical marijuana card. You shall not use or possess any opiate without a valid prescription and letter of explanation from the doctor. You shall not consume any alcoholic beverage. You shall not drive without a valid driver's license. You shall submit to random urinalysis twice per month. You shall attend anger management 12 weeks. You shall attend parenting classes. $18 weeks.
I heard about that, Chels. All right, so now we're going to go to Judge Dad.
You shall continue.
Somebody was screwing around on the phone today. Judge Dad wasn't liking it, and I got the beginning and the end. Let's roll. Let's get some Judge Dad, and then we're gonna go.
But for the anger management, you're going to go.
Thank you, Sparta, for all the hard work, baby.
Evaluation.
This is your channel too, guys. We do this together. Let's roll. Here we go. Let's get some Judge Dad. Let's get this place upbeat. And then I got a TPO from Judge Greasy Hair. Here we go.
You shall have no assaultive contact with the complaining witness.
Cancer Gil Fernandez, 23S556900A and B.
Michael A. Carmen, P73824, on behalf of the defendant, Your Honor. I'm bringing them out of a breakout and stuff in there.
What is this? Well, we'll get it when it comes out. Is Antonio Smith here? Can you have a seat at the table, my right, your left, please? Same with Ms. Chisholm.
Thanks, Kitch.
Or, I'm sorry, Mr. Chisholm, I apologize, sir.
Fernandez is out, Judge.
What's that?
Mr. Fernandez is out.
Mr. Fernandez?
Yes.
I'm not gonna talk to you when you're driving.
We're gonna pull over. We are gonna pull over.
No, listen to me, listen to me. You got about 5 minutes to pull over. If you don't, I'm gonna make you come here in person. It's unbelievable. Listen, did you hear what I said? You got 5 minutes, otherwise you'll be driving to your court date next time.
Sir,
People against Antonio Terrell Smith Senior, 23M 186768. Your name's, come on up to the podium and state your name. Mr. Smith, come on up here, just Mr. Smith. Your name?
Antonio Terrell Smith.
Mr. Carmen?
Michael A. Carmen, P73824, on behalf of the defendant, Your Honor.
All right, so for purposes of arraignment, does he stand mute? Waive formal reading?
Yes, sir.
Not guilty, pleas entered. $500 personal bond. You cannot leave the state without the consent of the court or violate any law. You must appear in court as directed. Who do you work for, sir?
TCI, Transport Carriers, Inc.
How much do you make there?
You said how much I make there?
Yes, sir.
Percentage of low
How much do you make per week?
per week, between like 700-800.
I'm gonna have to fill out a petition for a court appointed. You're entitled to one at the arraignment. You're not entitled to one going forward unless you're indigent. So I'm gonna have you fill out a petition if you want a lawyer going forward. I'm gonna enter a not guilty plea for you. I'll set this for pretrial. It's going to be April the 11th. We'll do this at 9:30 in the morning, okay? April the 11th at 9:30. Again, if you want a lawyer going forward, you'll have to fill out a petition for one, okay? Any questions?
Nope.
All right, good luck. People against Chisholm, Brett Everett Chisholm, 23M178480.
Michael A. Carmen, P73824, on behalf of the defendant, Your Honor.
Morning, sir. Your name?
Brett Chisholm.
So this will be a dismissal of the no license you worked out for him, correct? And then also there's going to be a plea of responsibility to the charge of improper lane use.
Correct, Your Honor.
So I only have actually 23M178480. So you have one count. And if you plead to improper lane use, I'm going to dismiss the initial charge. He listed it as count 2, but there's only one charge here, right?
I think he's just essentially amending the warning of a civil infraction.
So is that what you want to do?
Thank you, Tink.
Is plead to the civil infraction, improper lane use, with the understanding the misdemeanor will be dismissed. There are points involved too, I believe, on this, even with a commercial vehicle.
Yes, sir.
So that charge, improper lane use, responsible or not responsible?
Responsible.
Plea is accepted, misdemeanor is dismissed. 240, can you go down the hall and pay that now?
Not at this time.
How much do you have today?
Nothing.
When can you pay this?
Probably the next Friday.
Okay, next Friday?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next Friday is the 7th. We're closed. That's Good Friday, okay? So I'm gonna give you until April the 10th. That's on the following Monday. You can go online and pay it without any fee at 33court.com with your case number, okay?
Yes, sir.
Best of luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Daniel Anthony Burton, 22F7288849.
Michael A. Carmen, B73824, on behalf of the defendant, Your Honor.
Your name, sir?
Daniel Anthony Burton.
All right. So we're gonna refer this for a competency exam, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll refer these for a competency exam. 2 charges, B&E, illegal entry, and MDOP, 200 or more, but less than 1,000. So we'll give you a review hearing date on that one, Lisa. We might as well do that one at about the same time, which should be what, the 9th? Is that right? Mr. Fernandez, your name?
So right now is later on in the day. That hearing just went. There was nothing crazy in that last one. It was just setting a date for competency. This one was later on in the day. He gave Mr. Fernandez a little more than 5 minutes, but this is the 5 minutes he gave him. Mr. Fernandez supposedly pulled over, so now it's going to be him and Mr. Fernandez. All right, Judge Dad is on the money. Just incredible every day, day in and day out. When I see his stream live, I get giddy. I know everybody else does too.
Hanser Hill Fernandez.
Let me see you. Mr. Fernandez, I'm not waiting for you to pull over next time. If you're driving next time, I'm gonna set it for an in-person hearing. You're gonna have to show up in person. Do we understand one another?
Yes.
So here's the bottom line. There's like this quid pro quo here. It's courtesy. So I'm courteous enough to allow you to not have to appear in person. You're gonna be courteous enough to me to be on Zoom and ready to go when I call your case. Is that fair?
Yes.
Because I cannot believe somebody would be driving when they're supposed to be in court. I cannot conduct a case when you're driving.
I'm not driving. I'm not driving.
Not now, you aren't. You were before. You get in an accident, you hurt yourself or somebody else.
No.
I would never forgive myself. So I'm only telling you, I'm gonna let it go this time. Next time, if it happens, if you're driving during your court date, when I call your case, I'm ceasing the proceeding and I'm gonna make you appear in person. Do we understand one another?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry. I was the driver. You
Okay.
the passenger. I was driving. You can see me on the steering wheel. He was a
I
passenger.
don't care. Listen, I'm not conducting a hearing with somebody in a moving motor vehicle. I don't care who's driving. I don't care if they're on Air Force One. I don't care. They're not gonna be in a moving motor vehicle when I conduct the case, okay? Enough said. So now what do we have here? We have a driving while license not valid. Did you pre-try this?
We did 2 weeks ago. We set up for a bench trial, Your Honor.
This is up for a bench trial today?
Believe so.
No, I think I just set a pre-trial, didn't I? Or not? Is this
Plea
up for-
sheet says bench trial. That was my understanding.
Well, the notice says pre-trial. Notice says pre-trial. I wouldn't have done that because we only had, that was the first pre-trial. Your notice might have said that, but I just set it for pre-trial.
Now, I'm an extreme court nerd. If you look, I brought it, like, when I was recording, I rewound it. There's palm trees out the window of his car. If Judge McNally actually called him to court today and told him, get your ass down here, I'm pretty sure he's like in Florida or something. He's definitely not anywhere near McNally. So he would have been screwed. If you look, if you want to rewind it back, there's palm trees out the window. There's no palm trees where McNally is.
This is a case where the prosecution is not offering any kind of reduction, so we have nothing to lose by trying the case. That's why I wanted it set for a trial.
It was set for a pre-trial today.
Yeah, I know. Call the press. Mr. Kazak, can you pop your head in here, please? I'm not going to do a trial by Zoom. I'll do a civil infraction hearing by Zoom, but I'm not going to do a trial. So just so everybody understands that. I don't mind trying to accommodate. This has nothing to do with the fact that they're driving around. It has everything to do with the fact that I do not feel comfortable doing trials by Zoom. Mr. Kazak, your name?
I'm Mike Kazak for the people, Your Honor.
Is there no offer here at all on this one? I mean, is the prosecutor's office insisting that the defendant plead to both?
Unfortunately, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Kazak, listen, I know you're just the messenger, so let me be clear about that. And I read the statute, and I get this. I mean, I'm surprised that the legislature is taking such a hardened position, but you know what? I've seen them do it before, and now they go, it's a pendulum. But at any rate, am I missing something? Is there no way you can't, according to that masking statute, offer something on something? You can't even offer to deal on the no license? I guess I just keep going back, and again, I don't want to repeat myself for the 14th time. I just have such a fundamental problem with the fact that they can plea bargain murder cases and rape cases and robbery cases and B&E cases and stolen property cases and embezzlement cases and assault with intent to do great bodily harm cases and assault with intent to murder cases, but they can't, because of this statute, do anything on a speeding ticket. I wonder if the legislature really knows what they've done here. I really do. I mean, I honestly, and I know, listen, I get it. It's not your fault. I like you a lot. I appreciate you being here. It's not your call. I just, sometimes, I'm just asking, is there anything you can do? Because I feel, I don't want to make these guys come for a trial. I'm not real happy that they were driving around in a commercial vehicle when their case was called. I find that very disrespectful, but I'm still going to be fair with them. I can't do a trial. I don't feel comfortable doing a trial. I feel comfortable doing a civil infraction hearing by Zoom. I don't feel comfortable having a trial, bench or jury, for the most part, really, by Zoom. And I hate to make them come here from whatever state. They were somewhere south of here, quite a ways. It's in Florida. I'm just asking, do you think that you're violating the masking statute or an internal policy or both or one of those? You can just tell me, Judge, I'm violent, and then I'll just shut up and I'll do whatever I have to do here.
Your Honor, I think it would probably be both. I'll see if there's some sort of offer we can make on it. I don't think so. Just the way they charged it, just the way they wrote the citation, that had been modified something slightly different than it I probably could have. But let me check in the interim, Your Honor, because again, I agree as far as setting it for trial. I mean, it seems a huge investment of resources.
I don't want to ask you to go and do something for somebody differently. I don't remember I don't know. I guess I just don't understand it. I'll go ahead and set this for, let's set this out one last time for a pretrial, and if not, he can make a decision on whether or not he's going to come forward. Lisa, I don't care when you want to set it. We can either do the 4th or the 11th.
We can do the 4th at 9.
Between him and Bryant being disappointed, they're kind of showing their disappointment with the legislature and the prosecutor, just the system in general. They have a great disdain and disappointment. You could hear it in their voice. I mean, guys, we're invested in these guys constantly. We see them every day. We could definitely see a change in them. And he's disappointed. He was really upset with that. And he's right with the plea bargains. I mean, you plea bargain murder, but the speeding ticket for this guy? I mean, come on. Come on. He's right.
Criminal responsibility.
All right. Let's roll. All right. This came up. I'm sure some of you seen it. It was wild today. It's a real quick clip, but my girl Monica was on it for me. She sent it. It was live going on. I caught the best part of it. We had a great police chase today. Just little change for today. It was intense. So you're gonna see it probably all over the place, but just look at this chase. Sound picks up in a little while. No! No! Great. There goes that. There we go. There we go.
Do we know where it was stolen from? Where the officer left the car, or where the car was located?
We just know that it started in Castaic, and then he made his way to Lancaster. So he's been driving it for just about over an hour, I would say. Also, I wanted to ask you any idea? I mean, because Stu had just mentioned that the ammunition and weapons in this cruiser were secure. His tire's going flat right now. Oh, there we go.
Well, they are secure. The weapons are secure. The shotgun, other weapons that they have are secure. There is an unlocking device within the vehicle. You have to know where that is and how to deactivate.
Okay.
Could have been a traffic stop, and then the person jumped in and took off. It's not unusual.
Let's roll. That's a different kind of roll for Mark, though.
That may be the case. As we see, they may be coming to an end soon. You see what's happening with the vehicle, but it's very unusual to steal a police car. We've seen ambulances sold before. It's not that unusual. Let's say it's very unusual to steal a police car, an ambulance, a fire truck, etc. But it does happen on occasion. Obviously, we see it happening right here on.
Dennis, I want to bring back Stu. Stu, what's going on? He's jumping out of the car. Oh my goodness. He just bailed out of the car, out of a moving car. Look.
Whoa!
Oh my goodness.
Damn!
Stu, what are you seeing right now? I know we're blurring things out a bit.
Monica.
We don't exactly know what's going on, but he just bailed going about 70 miles an hour.
He jumped out of that vehicle at about 70 miles an hour and leaving that vehicle to go on its own and hit that power.
Yeah, he lived.
You can see that right there. But this suspect clearly had some issues this afternoon. They did hear the words earlier on that he was had some depression issues and also weapons. Now that suspect bailing out of that car, we've seen some motorcycle accidents in the past. That was a lot of road rash. Hopefully he is okay. That police car taking out a telephone pole out here. car coming to a stop right there. But why this all happened, that is a big question right now. Officers from California Highway Patrol, they are working with that victim. Apparently he is up and standing right now. So that means that whatever injuries he had, that he's going to be, hopefully going to be okay. Right now, though, you can see that they are still going to take him into custody and also render aid. A lot of these officers, you can see one of them right there, running up with a first aid bag. I'm going to stay a little bit wider just in case those injuries are a little too graphic for our viewers. Right now, though, I'm also hearing they are calling for an ambulance, but we are out of the 138 and 190th Street in the Antelope Valley. This is far from any of the nearby LA County fire station. So right now, they're going to have to wait for at least a few moments for them to get out here. And again, though, what a traumatic ending of that stolen police car. He bailed out of it after the rear tire went out. We saw that they were trying to do spike strips over and over again.
Okay, so we're gonna
Negative contact, but apparently
I don't know. What do you guys want to see? I have so many clips. It's just and so little time. Let's go. Let's roll. Let me see. I have so many clips, guys. Let's do it. Let's go. We're gonna go to Judge DiSanto. She had, I don't know if you guys seen it, but she had first of all, we all know that time served, and Judge DiSanto got a little thing going on. Elizabeth DiSanto, she's my girl, looking good today. I kind of love the glasses. I don't know. She's my girl. Anyway, she had, I think, the entire middle school of Riverview, Wyandotte Central, whatever their school is, in this courtroom today. And she just mows them down one after another. She knows moms from the PTO and the PTA and all this other stuff. So she was on a roll today. Kids were vaping, bullies, parents. Great. Here we go. Let's roll.
So we are going... I'm going to off record for a moment. Okay, so are all of these individuals together or just the C3? So let's take which of the unless if you don't mind. Okay, okay. Let's go back on the record. In the matter of the city of Wyandotte versus Christopher Whitaker, 2330258. Good morning. Your name, please? Okay, first, I need you to remove your hands from your pockets. And then if you can step closer and speak directly to the microphone. You can adjust the microphone. No, you're still too quiet.
Can you hear me now?
Closer to the microphone.
You want to be in my mouth almost, like right here?
Or talk louder. Talk louder or go directly into the microphone. I don't need any smart comments. Okay, you're still too quiet. I'm sure when you're yelling at other people, you can be loud. So if you feel like you're yelling at me, don't feel like you're yelling at me because we need to be able to hear you and record you. So you can adjust the microphone and you should be able to hear you just like that.
Hook me up. Get her digits.
So try it again.
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
It just feels like I'm like yelling at you.
I know, that's why I said, don't worry about it if you feel like you're yelling at me. So your name for the record again, please.
Christopher Whitaker.
Very good, thank you. And sir, your name, please? Closer to the microphone, please.
Christopher Whitaker.
Did you pick him up?
Christopher Whitaker.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Can you give him a napkin for some, please? Okay, and so the court will note, I know you through hockey from quite a few years ago. No, his dad. And so, but I haven't had any communication with you in quite a while. Any objection to this court continuing to hear this matter?
He
Okay,
passed
and then that's
away.
it for you to
Okay,
stick around.
guy in the chase passed away.
Okay.
Thank you, Becky.
And
Thank you, McGrill.
so, so I'm going to call you Christopher. I'm going to call you Mr. Whitaker, just because your name's the same. And so, Mr. Whitaker, is your name spelled the same as Christopher's?
Last name.
Okay, so if you can please spell your first and last names for the record. No, I'm sorry, not yours, your dad.
You want me to spell?
Yeah.
You want me to spell my first name?
Yeah.
Christopher, Christopher.
Okay.
Whitaker, Whitaker.
Okay, thank you. All right, and so today is the date, Christopher, that you're here because you received a citation for prohibited conduct on February 24th of this year, correct? And you met with the prosecuting attorney, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And it appears as though you've reached a resolution, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
We had Gordon Hamill here before. I feel like we did.
We have, Your Honor.
That's what I thought. He was with the other three.
Yes,
There
Your
were
Honor.
three of them. Okay, and so, sir, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this man be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And as it relates to the allegation that you engaged in prohibited conduct on February 24th, how do you plead?
Responsible, Your Honor.
And you understand you have the right to have a contested hearing in this matter, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that by entering into a plea, you will not have that contested hearing. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anybody promised you anything, threatened you, or coerced you in any way for you to enter into a plea?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so tell me what it is you did that would render you responsible for prohibited conduct. So you have to keep your volume up into the microphone. You had a concealed weapon, what was that?
Knife.
Okay, and anything else?
I trespassed on school property during school hours.
Anything else?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
Okay, and what school property were you on, sir?
Roosevelt High School.
And you're not a student there, are you?
No, Your Honor.
So why were you there?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Nope, I don't know is not a sufficient answer, because you made the choice to go there, so you know something. I don't hear, I don't know. So why did you go there?
I was about, and I guess,
And you're 15? Well, now you're 16. At the time you were 15? And you're just out and about?
Yes.
All right. The court is satisfied the plea is knowing, voluntary, and factually accurate. The court will accept your plea to prohibited conduct. And where did you get the knife, sir?
I don't remember, Your Honor.
I don't remember, or I don't recall, falls in the same categories, I don't know.
I had the knife for a long time. I don't remember where I got it from.
Did you get it as a gift? Did you buy it?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay, so do you often walk around with a knife in your hand or in your possession?
Yes, Your Honor.
You do. Why do you do that?
Protection.
Okay. Do you have issues with individuals that you find the need to carry around a knife for protection?
No, Your Honor.
And what kind of knife is it? Is it a switchblade? Is it a?
It was, I can't think of it, it was a fixed blade knife. It was like a fixed blade, it didn't fold it.
Like a utility knife?
It wasn't collapsible, like it was like a.
Oh. Okay, and so how big of a knife was it?
5 inches maybe, Your Honor.
You carry around a 5-inch knife on a regular basis?
Not anymore, Your Honor.
Well, no, not anymore, the police department has it. But you did?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was your dad aware of that?
No, Your Honor.
Was your dad aware you had the knife? So you concealed it at home, correct?
No, Your Honor.
You didn't conceal it at home?
No.
So where did you keep it when you were at home?
Drawer, I guess.
Right, so you concealed it so that your dad wouldn't see it, right?
I would kind of just put it out in the way. So it was,
Okay. You never told your dad that you had it, did you?
no, Your Honor.
Okay. So then your dad didn't give it to you,
No, Your Honor.
so you obtained it from somewhere.
Correct.
Where did you obtain it from?
I don't remember, Your Honor.
You do, because you know enough to make sure you didn't tell your dad about it. You put it in a drawer when it was at home, so you know where you got it. Where did you get it?
I'm telling you, I do not remember where I got the knife from, Your Honor.
A friend didn't give it to you?
No, Your Honor.
There's no talking in court. If you have to talk, go out into the lobby. And so, Ms. Taylor, if you can just put your appearance on the record, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Billy Joe Taylor, we have to be in the city of Wyandotte. I would just like to note as well that I was informed by, Mr. Whitaker that his son was also expelled from school. So the court should be aware of that.
And when were you expelled from school, sir? Okay, the recording can't record, huh?
What did you say?
When were you expelled from school?
March 16th.
And why were you expelled from school? Did you want me to guess, or do you want to tell me?
I mean, fighting.
Fighting. Often?
I mean, there was 3 accounts of active violence.
What does that mean?
Just telling me the school question.
Sir, you were involved in those acts of violence, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me what that means.
There was fights, I guess, I didn't like that, and I came back to school for a meeting, they told me I had to go back, and leaving off school property, I got into, I started yelling at a student, and then the student's mother was in the office, and I threatened him.
Okay, so you were there for a meeting regarding a fight, and as you're leaving,
It was a re-entry meeting, as well.
okay, right, and because you were in trouble for a fight. Okay, so as you're leaving, you're yelling at another student.
It wasn't yelling, I asked the student a question, and the student's mother was in the office.
Sir, you said I was yelling at students.
Well, I was kind of yelling, like, it wasn't like aggressive, like trying to fight with.
What was the question you asked?
I just said, do you want to run once? And they said no.
So what did you mean by that?
Do you want to fight?
So you're at a re-entry meeting because you were in trouble for fighting, and you're asking somebody else as you leave that meeting if they want to fight. So you sound like a very angry child. Are you angry?
No, Your Honor.
No? The people that generally go around trying to get in fights are very angry.
Listen, I teach middle school age. I've been teaching for 15 years. My daughter is in middle school. A lot of you have kids in middle school, high school. The culture has changed. These kids, for fun, fight. My nephew sends me pictures of him fighting with kids in his football team, like just fighting. It's like Fight Club everywhere. I just don't get it. They go, oh, you want to fight? They just come up to each other and say, you want to fight me? Like, what? Like, this is stupid. I think a whole gap was lost. Like, when COVID hit, because the kids that I had pre-COVID and then the kids that I had post-COVID, completely different. No social skills whatsoever. And this is the product. This is what's going on right now. This is my area of expertise. I'm telling you. Things have changed.
Are you in counseling of any sort?
No, Your Honor.
And so, Ms. Taylor, Mr. Hamel, can you just refresh my memory? Is that the one that, whose mom was Molly, or is that the one who had both parents here and he was, oh, yes, I remember. He works at Nana's Kitchen.
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes, okay. Yes, I remember that. That's actually the one I'm most surprised about. So you're friends with him?
Gordon Hamel? Yes, Your Honor.
Me too, Your Honor.
Hmm. Wow, okay. Well, so what do you do during the day now while you're not in school?
Can I talk to her for a second? Schoolwork, well, I try to, like, on the computer.
Okay, when you say I try to, what does that mean?
There's kind of like no instructions on how to do it, how to do that.
Okay, so how are your grades? Not too good.
Yeah, but listen, we used to fight. It is different now. It's a different kind of fighting, though. It's different. It's like they do it not for like shits and giggles. It's almost like a status thing. It's different than what you guys were talking about. I lived in the 90s. I was a 90s kid. I know it's different. It's just a different type of culture when it comes to fighting. We fought because we were bored. They fight right off the bat. You know, it's a different kind. Believe me, I grew up in that time, and now I teach in this time. It's totally different. Just the culture is totally different with the fighting. It's what they see on TikTok. It's the trends, who's punching who challenge, and all this other crap. That's exactly what it is.
Because you're not doing your work?
They don't have me switch to online yet, so it's no lessons.
Okay. And
That's
Mr. Whitaker,
more fun, Matt.
What's been going on?
Living in the playground.
Does Christopher reside with you? And perhaps you should participate in some counseling.
I've been counseling for almost 3 years prior to all of this. Okay.
What boot camp was he at?
Bryant. Oh, yeah, mid-course correction.
Was he there voluntarily or was he sentenced there through a court?
I mean,
And when I say
Shane, I'm dying
voluntarily,
right now.
you-
Dying with that comment.
Okay, I know that there's one like Battle Creek or past Battle Creek, I've heard.
I think that it was during, it was either like right after, right around COVID, so a lot of things were closed and didn't reopen.
You really are a Bergen County boy.
Well, so you know where you're going to end up if you don't correct your actions? Yes. Does that sound fun?
No, you're.
So what is it going to take for you to get it together?
I'm already trying to get it back together.
How?
I've been staying home, trying to do my schoolwork, then I'm on SBA.
And so how are your interactions with your brothers? Because you have 3 brothers, right?
No, you're.
No?
No, they moved out here, it's just, me and him and his sister, no.
Oh, okay, so how is your interaction with your sister?
Good trouble.
How is his behavior at home?
Behavior at home is actually good. He's fine to leave the house with lights and all that stuff.
Well, there are some apps so that you can see all the communication that, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to schedule this for sentencing. We're going to see how you're doing in the next 45 days. Okay? So.
Whenever she uses that stamper, it turns me on. Just saying.
We'll set this for sentencing on May 16th. Does that work for you, sir? Okay. And we'll set it for May 16th at 11:15. The city of, okay, very good, thank you. And, Justice, you had an opportunity to meet with the prosecuting attorney regarding your citation for prohibited conduct.
This one is okay. This is the one I wanted to show everybody. Let's play guess the age. Before he announces his age, now that I said it, you guys, but take a real guess on how old you think this gentleman coming to the podium is.
All right, good morning. Your name, please?
Okay. In the comments, give me his age. Ready? Go.
All right, thank you. And your name, sir?
Matthew Lujan.
Okay, can you please spell your first and last name? No, I'm sorry, Lucius, we have yours. Sir, your name.
Matthew, Matthew, Lujan, Lujan.
Who's the dad? Left or right? Given the tattooed skull, I would say the left, but who knows?
Thank you. And your relation to Lucius?
I'm his father.
All right, thank you. All right, so Lucius, you are here before the court because
cracking his neck.
You received a citation for prohibited conduct on February 28th of this year at Wilson Middle School.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, how old are you?
14.
Ding, 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 ding. I think McRib said it. 14. Yikes. Monica, you were close with 40.
You're in 8th grade?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes?
Mama tried. 62.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not somebody that you're hanging out with at school. We're not just having a conversation, so yes or no, okay? Not yeah or not or anything. Okay, and so you had an opportunity to speak with the prosecuting attorney, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Or yes, Your Honor.
And you've reached a resolution, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, actually, Ms. Taylor, I'm a little confused. It says you're pleading responsible, that says recommended warning. So which is it?
He's going to plead responsible. I was looking for no fine on this, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. So sir, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear from the testimony about speaking this matter, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And as to the allegation that you engaged in prohibited conduct, how do you plead? Responsible or not responsible?
Responsible.
And you understand you have the right to have a contested hearing in this matter, and by entering into a plea, you will not have that contested hearing. Do you understand all that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you also understand, I'm sorry, has anybody promised anything, threatened you, or coerced you in any way for you to enter into a plea?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and so tell me please what it is you did that would render you responsible for prohibited conduct.
I decided to hit the vape.
Where'd you get that vape?
This girl handed it to me in the hallway.
Just randomly handed you a vape?
She thought she was going downstairs, Your Honor.
So you took the vape from her because you thought she was going to get searched, and then you decided to use it. Huh. Well, there's quite a few things wrong with that, but
So stupid.
why wouldn't you have just thrown it away?
DiSanto, I love you.
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
No, didn't you hear me tell the other individual? I don't know, and I'm not sure, or not acceptable answers. You made a conscious decision to take the vape from her, not throw it away, and use it. So I don't know is not going to work.
I guess I I wanted it because I hadn't had it yet.
So you use a vape often?
I used to. I make it clean system.
Okay. And, so if you were to test today, what would be detected in your system?
It'd be clean.
Okay, because I can send you right on over to probation and they'll test for everything.
All right.
So what would be detected in there?
I do take these nicotine patches, but those are artificial nicotine. It's not up there to show up.
Okay, and so why do you use nicotine patches?
It's not me quit.
You're 14 and you're addicted to nicotine?
Yes, John.
And how long have you been using nicotine, sir?
Since middle of 2020.
Since you were 11?
Like 12.
And where would you get this from?
Old ex-girlfriend.
What? Ex-girlfriend? Look at DiSanto.
Okay, and Dad?
Yeah, I just want to clarify that, based on nicotine, not weed.
Oh, I understand. No, I understand there's a difference.
I
But
was
neither one are legal nor acceptable for kids to be using.
Yeah, I was just want to clarify that, just to make sure there wasn't with, weed or anything.
No, I understand. And so did you have any consequences at home?
Yes.
And what were those consequences?
I was grounded for the month that I got my phone taken.
And so, Dad, you test Lucius? You know, you can test for nicotine.
No, I never tested him, but I do make sure that he's grounded. He's been grounded a lot more than 1 month. And he gets video games taken away, he gets the whole room cleaned out, his phone taken away, the only thing he has in there is the school books.
And so how do you make sure that he's not hitting a vape when he's at school?
I don't.
Well, drug testing would be one way to support
Yeah.
him telling you that he's not doing it.
The principal is always checking up on me. She checks up on me like really fast a lot and like shot high. And usually whenever I go to the bathroom, the teacher's satisfied on my.
Okay, and you do any extracurricular activities? I see you do band, anything else?
I don't think so.
No? Play football, basketball, anything?
No, man. No.
Are you interested in any of that?
Play guitar.
Okay. All right. Okay, so the court's going to accept your plea. Responsible and further recommendation, the prosecutor reports going to indicate no fines and costs. Your back here again, sir, not going to be good.
Oh yeah, hit that stamper, DiSanto. He had an ex-girlfriend who got him addicted to vaping at 11, and he wears nicotine patches. Are you kidding me? I get upset with my daughter because she leaves the towels on the floor. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, God.
The court did review the letters of recommendation that you had as well, or the letters that were written on your behalf. I see that you are doing counseling, so that's good. And hopefully you continue with that and that you're getting on the right path. And Dad, it's never a bad thing to make sure that your trust is not misplaced. And if that requires some drug testing, then you can certainly, that's an option for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you. Have a good day. Okay, and I think that that's Mr.
Nobody mocks defendants after she sees them better than DiSanto. Stevens does it, but Judge Elizabeth is the queen of the eye roll. I swear she's a Jersey girl.
Stanford. Okay, we're going to recall the matter of City of Wyandotte versus John Stanford Jr., 23375. And good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right, and your name, please.
I don't know how this guy got caught in this.
All right,
ruckus.
and you waived your right to have an attorney represent you. Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so here we go. So I don't know how that guy just came out of nowhere on the docket. You had kids after kids after kids, and then this 6-foot black dude with dreads comes walking in. So unexpected, like, which doesn't fit. But, okay, so now we have the 7th grade class of Wyandotte Riverview Central Middle School appearing in front of just DiSanto. And All of them look like Harry Styles, and yeah, and they all probably have vapes in their back pocket, and they probably have their phone on record.
All right. And so let's start with, what's that? You talking to me? No. Oh, sorry. Okay, so let's start with Dominic Crowe. Which one's Dominic? Your name, please.
Dominic Crowe.
Okay, and ma'am, your name, please?
Mary Reed,
You spell your first and last name.
MaryReed.
And you are Dominic's mom.
Yes.
All right, and then the next one is Jackson Hart. Your name, please, for the record.
Jackson Hart.
All right, and your name, please?
Melissa Hart,
You please spell your first and last names for the record.
MELISSAHART.
Okay, and I will note that I do know Melissa Hart. I believe your older son and one of my children were friends when they went to school years and years ago, but I have not seen you in a very long time. It's really not a justice matter at all. Is that accurate? Okay. Any objection to the court continuing in this matter?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, and then we have Donovan Larkin. Your name, please.
My name is Donovan Larkin.
Okay, please remove your hands from your pockets. And who do you have with you here? Okay, Mom, your name, please?
Danielle Larkin.
Okay. Your name's very familiar, but I don't know that I know you. But you look familiar too.
Yes, I was here with, my husband here too, last year.
Okay. All right.
Frequent flyers.
Okay. And then we have Colin Reedy. And your name, please?
Colin Reedy.
I think your name, please.
Allison Reedy,
All right. And can you spell your first and last names, please?
ALISONREEDY.
All right, thank you. And I know.
Please, everyone, for the first time, if you feel something is wrong, get it checked. Love you, Mama.
know you from years ago at school, but I haven't seen you in a number of years, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and I say school from where the kids used to go to school. Any objections to the court continuing in this matter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And then we have Ayton Reitmeyer. Your name, please.
Ed Sheeran.
Okay, and your name, sir?
Harry Styles.
You please spell your first and last name.
SAJWNRIGACMYER.
Okay, and your dad? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and so, Mr.
Dad
Taylor,
comes to
sorry, I
court
just
in
jumped
the
back.
Haynes White Classic Tea. Gotta love it. The Haynes White Classic Tea for Dad. Good job.
That's okay. Good morning, or good afternoon, Your Honor. Billy Joe Taylor on behalf of the people, City of Wyandotte, number 18278.
All righty, and so it appears all of you decided to participate in some activities together, correct? I'm sorry? Before, I'm just gonna say this, before you answer, please state your name for the record, just so we know who's talking, okay?
Yes.
Okay? There was a fight? Okay. And so, Ms. Taylor, what's happening today?
Officer Cole did come into the prosecutor's office and speak to me regarding this incident. There was no body cam, no video, no phone camera. So we had some, he said here. Two of the defendants claimed that they were jumped. I would like it noted for the record that Officer Cole did indicate to me that he believed that Graff and Mr. Hart were the instigators of this. I have two that I have recommended dismissals for, but I will leave that to Your Honor's discretion. I also would like to note upon my conversation with Officer Cole that Mr. Hart also has a pending charge that's been submitted to Wayne County for an incident that occurred after this for having a knife in his possession as well at school.
At school?
Yes.
And that's Mr. Reedy, you said? Hart, or Hart, Mr. Hart. Mr. Hart, do you have a pending matter?
Yes,
Okay,
He was the one with the knife?
and so. And so apparently during all this, there were 2 cars that were damaged, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I did speak to Officer Cole on that issue, Your Honor. I do not have any information on those cars. Officer Cole said he did speak with the person. She has not submitted any receipts for restitution on this issue. I did explain to all the defendants that if there was restitution, I did not know how Your Honor would deal with that, but they would be responsible, most likely.
Okay, and that would go between all of the individuals?
Not the 2 that I'm recommended the dismissal. From what
Okay.
I have gathered from talking to all parties, there was 2 of the defendants that were jumped by the other kids.
And so that would be Mr. Reedy and Mr. Crow, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and so Mr. Reedy and Mr. Crow.
Why do I feel like they're gonna like break out into song? They're gonna throw the podium and be like, "Girl, I love you, girl, oh, girl." I can't.
Okay. And so, have you had problems with any of these other individuals at school?
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Your Honor, just clarify for the record, we want to set I'm sorry, and I apologize to the court, Donovan's got put in there, he's here for a separate matter. He's here for vaping, not the fight.
Okay.
Sorry, I apologize.
Okay.
You can have a seat.
Okay, and well, then there's only 4.
There's 4, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so the court will go ahead and dismiss against Mr. Reedy and Mr. Crow per the recommendation. And you 2 are all set. All right, have a good day. You're welcome, have a good day.
Your Honor.
You're welcome, have a good day. And so, as
Now
to
it's you.
Mr. Hart and Mr. Whitemeyer, you 2 are being responsible, correct? All right, both of you, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear from testimony about to give this the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, Mr. Hart.
I swear.
And Mr. Whitemeyer. You both understand you have the right to have a contested hearing in this matter, and by entering into a plea, you will not have that contested hearing. And anybody conversating, threatens you, or coerces you in any way to enter into a plea. All right, so Jackson, tell me what it is you did that would render you responsible for derivative conduct. Well, tell me what it is you did, that's why you're here.
We fought behind the sofa.
Tell the individual you're a fighting.
Told you, I knew McRib was a Janko guy.
Did you have a problem with that?
No, Your Honor.
Well, why'd you choose to fight them?
He swung at me first, so your action.
The one that did that dismissed, swung on you first.
Yeah, it's like off target.
Is that yes?
Yes, Your Honor.
Molly, what up?
He just randomly walked up to you and just
No,
swung.
my friend pushed his friend in there. He punched him and started.
Oh, okay. Okay, so when I'm asking what happened, let's not leave out the pertinent details. Okay? Because you're accepting responsibility, so own it. Don't try to minimize it. Okay? And so, Ayton, was that your, what did you do that landed you here?
We, at the school, we weren't stuff like what we usually do at school. And Dom saw us. So, I think Dylan and Dom they had a problem with each other. When we all got behind each other, Dylan and Dom kind of going at it first. And then once Dylan pushed Dom, that's when kind of Colin started coming at me.
McRib. I was kidding.
All right. Okay, well, the court's going to accept your pleas as knowing voluntary and factually accurate, and the court's going to adopt the recommendation for you to participate in the Recover Detroit.
It was Tiffany. Dun, 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 dun,
Okay.
dun, dun, dun. You remember
And
the
then what
video?
we'll do
She's
is
in the
we'll have a
mall.
review date, and then I'll determine the findings at that point. And then we'll see what's going on at that point. Okay? So you're going to stop at probation, they'll give you that information.
These kids don't get anything. All right. I am going to stop it there. She gives them a slap on the wrist. Nothing happens. DiSanto plays it soft because she knows all the PTO moms. I'm very disappointed with DiSanto with this fighting today. I got to call her. I got to text her later. I got to beep her. 143. 143, DiSanto. 143. All right, here we go. The TPO we've been waiting for. Judge Greasy Head. Judge Stepbrother. Here we go. Let's play it. I got one of them. This was McCoy Williams, I think it was. It looks like the guy is zooming from the toilet. It is a instant classic. Let's get to it. Give me a second, people. It is a coming. Oh no, is it done? It's downloading. It was not a long one, but just a long download.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna find out.
Okay, here we go. So, all right, so this one is a doozy. You guys are gonna enjoy this one. This one's got everything in it. They even had the interviewing the kids. Here we go. Let's do it to it.
In case
What was that, Ms. McCoy?
CR 02
Are we talking about his order or
and in
we
this
talking
case,
about
you were
mine?
charged
I'm talking
with
about his
crime of
order.
battery.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This alleged to have occurred on March
So-
26th of this year in the
Yeah,
area,
it is.
844 South Virginia Street. Do you
Talking
understand
about
that charge?
the order, yeah, it is.
How do you wish to plead
Okay,
that
and
charge?
do you intend to, so give me a moment, I'm gonna have to close this and open it back up again.
Okay.
This is a doozy. Just look at it. He's on the toilet. Looks like he's wiping. What up, Molly? You've been dying to catch a live. Molly's been making fantastic comments since day one. Glad you could make it, Molly. Doesn't this girl look like the girl from those scary movies? You know what I'm talking about?
All right, so, Mr. Willis, you have filed this protective order on behalf of these 4 children, correct?
Yes, and also
Alright.
my other two that is not ours.
Well, they're yours, so you're in control of that situation, so to speak. But in these 4 that are listed, King, Royal, Emperor, and Empress are 4 that you ship. Is that correct?
It was 6 of them. All of mine were listed at the time. It should say my other two also.
And how you're not answering the questions I'm asking. So let's slow down.
No, but that's what's on the paper, sir. It should be all 6 of my children.
Okay, did you fill this paperwork out?
And I did not. Great stream, great chat, great time served. Thank you, Laura. You're my girl. One of my dangerous mods, Discord. All right, so I did not cut this guy off. If you could tell, he's literally not showing the top of his head because he's in the bathroom. And yes, that is a shower curtain. I saw it in the comments. That is a shower curtain.
Yes, sir. This is not my first time, but basically they were saying it was invalid because she was never served. So this is not my first time doing this
You've had
process.
multiple case numbers.
Right, and I've been granted a situation, and I've explained to every they already made their decision, but if they don't serve her, it's like I got to keep redoing.
Right. So, and let me do this. I forgot to ask at the top. Did I swear you in?
Oh, no, sir.
Okay. If you would please raise your right hand. Do you swear the statements you make to me and have made to me will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I am staring at your petition, and what it says is your name, Anthony Willis, OBO, which is on behalf of, and then it lists the 4 children that I named. It does not list child number 5 and child number 6, or number 5 and number 6, 2 children that you share with Miss McCoy.
I have 4 with Miss McCoy, but
Okay.
I have 2.
Nope. And just focus on the question that I'm asking and nothing more. So the 2 kids that you have that are not her kids, you're in control of who they see and don't see and talk to and don't. Now, are all 6 of those children under 18?
Yes.
Okay. So we are here to deal with your petition on behalf of the 4 minor children that you share with her, because the other kids you don't share with her, they're your kids and not her kids. So you get to decide what happens with them and what they do and don't do. Now, there are some things here. When was the last time you and Miss McCoy lived together?
I left in October.
Okay. And when were the children removed from her home and placed in yours?
In January.
Okay. And that was as part of a DFAC safety plan about November, December, January, 3 months after you had moved out. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm asking this question not to determine the truth of the allegations themselves, but to understand the situation. Give me one moment. I want to make sure that I frame this correctly and that I don't say something that can be misconstrued or out of turn from an evidentiary standpoint. Involve acts committed by Miss McCoy or acts committed by others?
Others and McCoy. Well, it's been multiple cases. Which case are you talking about?
Okay, so I will put it this way. Do you believe, what testimony do you have to offer the court regarding acts of violent or inappropriate nature committed by Miss McCoy against these 4 children?
There was a DFAS case. She had left the minors at home, and her phone was off at the time, and the police, Avondale Estates, called me and told me to come if I can come because they couldn't reach mother. And I was like an hour away. So when I was on my way, I guess she had beat me back to her house. And mind you, I was already gone. And the officer said, they have to give her back to her.
And that was back in like December?
Yeah, I believe so. This was because it was multiple cases before they gave me the children.
So do you know if she was, it sounds like they gave the children back to her. She was not arrested or charged with any crimes as it relates to that.
They said it wasn't a charge for that.
It kind of depends. It's a circumstance dependent. How long do you think the children were left alone for?
Like I said, I'm not sure. I wasn't there. I just got the call from the police and I just came.
Okay. Have you witnessed Miss McCoy causing intentional harm to the children, doing things like hitting, pushing, kicking, shoving, or any other form of inappropriate touching that you can testify to today?
Basically, just discipline.
Okay. Were there any situations where that resulted in like injury or lasting harm?
No,
Okay, so, and when you say discipline, are we talking about spanking? Are we talking about something else?
just spankings.
Okay, and when a spanking would occur, where on the child would that sort of thing be administered?
Like all I could do is just present videos, you know. That's I have evidence of you know, certain things. And the thing was, I'm not trying to press charges against her. I just want her to stay away, and that's what a TPO is for, because I know violence and things happen. It's already been a domestic situation already, and I already know where it can lead to. So this is what they teach you from the beginning, is to protect yourself and make sure everything is okay. We have several court dates, you know, to where, you know, it's been plenty of people that you could talk to and you can do certain things.
Be respectful of and protective of, especially the privacy of juvenile victims, because these are the proceedings that we stream.
Right.
But
no, it wasn't. My four, basically, it was a sexual abuse situation, which we went to forensics. They're in counseling now. They have me in all these programs that I'm taking them to, and also they're in school. That's number one. Number two.
Hang on, before I go too far, is the 12-year-old that you mentioned, is that one of the four that's on your petition?
No, I don't have a 12-year-old. She has that. Her kids are the other two boys that live there.
Okay. And so as far as as children that may have been harmed physically,
mine, the one that we have together, my four.
Right. What has Miss McCoy done to those four?
No, it was just basically, you know, under her supervision, basically, you know, these.
You don't feel like she is a responsible and I'm going to use the term thorough parent, even though it's not quite the right word, but you don't think that she provides the level of supervision and diligence required to do that job well?
Correct. To where these acts happen, you know, and then and there's no telling how long. And also, you know, they speak, they talk on they talk themselves. So it should have been more of a team thing of trying to figure out what's going on, instead of saying, I have text where she's saying it was a dream. And that's not concerned enough to me when these type of acts are going down and it's a daughter involved and, you know, all these children.
So when okay, and so I think that helps me get a picture there. Now, on your I want to make sure that I get the details right on this. There is an address on some of the paperwork, and I'm having to navigate through multiple documents under multiple case numbers, so please forgive me. But there is a Stratford Green address. You do not live there. That's where she lives. Is that correct?
That's where she lives.
Okay. You live at a different address.
Correct.
And each of you would prefer to continue living where you're living right now. Her on Stratford.
Yeah,
you where you are.
Totally separate. We barely, you know, totally separate.
Okay. I figured 5 months was enough time, that there was nothing to be hashed out in that regard, but I wanted to make sure of that if he chooses to do so. Does that make sense as far as our plan for what will follow, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have questions that you wish to ask him?
I guess my question to him is that if he didn't feel like his children were safe, then why are you just now trying to file a TPO? And this is something that I've been doing for about 2-3 years that you've been running from, not having an address to be served at, basically not involved in your kid's life at all, and don't have any type of recollection of anything that has gone on.
Well, he's not required to say, you know, why now is not necessarily part of this. I can say for what it's worth that he filed, I think, in early February and then had to refile for legal reasons, not for any fault of his own. So this has been going on for a while in the court system. It's just that this is the first time we've gotten everyone in the same room together, so to speak.
Right. That's my point exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
I'm
right.
ready to move forward.
Okay. And so with that, Mr. Willis, I just wanted to confirm, I think you said you didn't intend to call any other witnesses, correct?
What I can say is I didn't know we was allowed to call witnesses, but you know, these people are the ones who actually put in statements already with social workers, you know, so you know, it's pretty much that's why they made the decisions that they make, or else the children would still be there, you know.
All right, well, here's what I'm gonna do. Ms. McCoy, please raise your right hand for me. Do you swear any statements you make to the court today will be the truth under penalty of perjury? All right, and you can click that button to unmute. I did see you mouth, I do. And what would you like to tell the court today? And this will be hard to do, but let's start, if we can, I guess, let's start with the things he's discussing, and then you can get into your petition and your claims thereafter.
Okay, so it all kind of falls under the same umbrella. First and foremost,
Guys, I just sped that up because I have to catch up sometimes because I don't want to miss the whole case. So I wanted to get to the live part so I wouldn't miss this for you because I kept missing the other TPOs. So I wanted to get at least one. So that's why you saw the speed there. It doesn't happen again.
Speaking about the defects cases, I guess that he was touching people. Not, I want to say a lot of people. I've had the same person for about the last 6 years. Because my most recent defects case was this last one. And the one prior to, he was a caller. And then it's a couple others where my family, who I have here as witnesses, have called on my behalf out of concern because of Anthony Willis Jr.
And all the family speaks.
And all those calls were from the same person who was upset about a situation when she got put out of my house. So all these cases that he's trying to recollect, these are like from my oldest son, which is 13, was about a year and a half. Second of all, in regards to the defects case, which was closed out on March the 4th of 2023 by Anika Dunbar, who said that the kids were supposed to be returned to me, which was a voluntary removal. It wasn't something that defects was saying that needed to be put in place. I asked for it to happen so that way I can focus on my 12-year-old and figure out exactly what happened in the situation. In regards to the case, I was actually home and present. I was downstairs cooking dinner. I have 6 kids in total and had a 3-story home, And when the situation took place, my second to the youngest son and our son, who we share, was in the room together, and he was watching an inappropriate show on his phone, which he was exposed to at school in the after school program, which had been proven by defects, which is why the defects case got closed. The reason being that my kids were not able to be returned to me is because in that time frame, Anthony Willis Jr. went to go file a TPO. So my kids were actually supposed to be returned to me on March the 4th of 2023, which was a Saturday. I do have a order which states that Mr. Willis has no rights to the children. He's not legitimized, no custody, and that legitimization was closed and terminated on the 2nd of November of 2022.
All right, so let me ask it this way first. The person who you believe had inappropriate, or who was believed to have had inappropriate contact with your 12-year-old, is that person an adult or a child?
So the person is a child. This was at his date. My kids went to the same school. My son, who is 12, and my other son, King, who me and Anthony share 4, they go to the same school. I also had them enrolled in aftercare. At aftercare, the kids are allowed to bring their tablets, their phones, any electronics that they want to bring. One of the students at that school was going around showing the children inappropriate porn, basically, on his phone, and telling the kids how to log on to it, how to get on it. His account was actually logged in on my son's tablet. So my son brought his tablet home that day. He was on his tablet, and King happened to have seen the inappropriateness on the phone.
So there's not an allegation of physical touching or physical harm to the child as part of the defects case.
Not, which is why the case was closed out. All parties had to go to forensics. It was proven by the detective George Mendoza, who conducted the forensics on both King and my son Micah, that he could tell that nothing had been done to either child.
So all right. And so the kids resided with him for a period of months and then would have returned, based on what you're saying about the court orders that came through the, over the course of time, at the beginning of the month, there was a chance the children could have returned to you.
Right, on March the 4th, when it was closed out, the kids were supposed to be had returned to me. But in that point, Mr. Willis had took upon himself as an opportunity to go file a TPO against myself, including the children on there. However, defects let me know that even though it's above them, that technically, because he has no rights and custodies things to the children, because I was not the predator of the children, he filed one against me on his own, but not with the children on there.
All right. So, and now let's talk through the claims you make against Mr. Willis in regards to your petition.
Yes, on November the 1st of 2022, Mr. Willis came up to my room. He said he moved out in October. He moved out November the 5th. And I do have proof of that by way of his mother. That he came to my room, accused me of cheating, proceeded to choke me. I did mush him off of me, and both of my children who are here present as witnesses are here. And I do also have my mother and my grandmother here as witnesses as well to the incidents and prior instances too. Domestic violence is something that me and Anthony Willis Jr. are not, no, we're not, it's the ongoing situation. I've been in domestic violence shelters because of him. I've plenty of police reports where they have all noted bruises on myself. My case was dismissed against him when he claimed that I had hit him first. And testimony by a witness stated that he claimed that he hit me first and I acted in self-defense. He did apologize for strangling me and wanted to move forward, but I couldn't do it. My kids have seen enough. And they, like I said, are both here to testify if need be.
And so you,
I think he was also charged. Well, he was arrested in 2019 for family violence, obstruction of a 911 call in Henry County. I believe my attorney submitted documentation for that, or tried to at least.
each of you has been arrested for charges against the other, correct?
We have, yes. And my mother also filed a TPO against. I'm sorry, not a CPO. He has a no trespassing at my mother and my grandmother's house as well.
So when was the last time you saw Mr. Willis?
I haven't seen Mr. Willis since the day that he came to pick up the children. And even after I made contact to try and see the kids. I sent money, I've sent groceries. They've had appointments. I sent him appointments well beyond the time frame before, so he can take them to them, which I have proof and documentation of that, where he liked it, which means that he got it, and refused to take them to any.
So you last saw him in January when he got the children. When was the last time you had seen him prior to him getting the kids in January?
It would have been going on 3 months.
Okay. All right. Is there anything that I have not thought to ask you about that you think needs to be discussed today?
I don't think so.
Okay. Mr. Willis, I'm going to send you a prompt to unmute. This is the opportunity for questions for this witness. You can ask her.
I mean, basically,
we're here to talk about each of your claims against the other in regards to acts of violence. Call any other witnesses, or do you wish to have your testimony as is?
I can call my witnesses.
Okay. If you would bring them to the camera, then I'll swear them in. And
hello.
All right. Can you please raise your right hand for me? Do you swear the statements you make will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
All right. You can put your hand down. Tell us your name, please.
Danita McCoy.
All right. What is your relationship to the respondent / petitioner?
I am her daughter. I am her mother. I'm sorry.
Okay. And when we go to protective order hearings, typically what we are most interested in are acts of violence. Have you witnessed any acts of violence from either of these parties toward the other?
I have not witnessed the acts of violence. I have been told about the acts of violence from both parties while both parties were present.
Okay, and so what has Mr. Willis told you?
Mr. Willis tells me that the only way he can control Lucky is by putting his hands on her. I'm sorry, her name is Lucky. And that that Daryl needs this type of treatment because she won't listen or do what he wants her to do. And he boasts that all he needs to do is to provoke her, to get her, to try to get her out of character.
And when
And
was the last time that you spoke to Mr. Willis?
it's been a while. He has texted me. We haven't spoken. I can't remember when the last time I actually spoke to him.
Okay, when would you?
So you have to notice everyone that speaks, all the witnesses, they're all looking off camera. It's like literally mom is holding up cue cards. Every single witness. So the people in the comments who are saying it looks coached, 100%.
Estimate the last time was that you two corresponded via text message?
In November.
Okay. All right. I think that's all the questions I have for you. Thank you for your testimony today.
Okay.
All right, Ms. McCoy, you can jump back in. Is there anyone else you wish to have testify who would have directly witnessed any kind of physical altercation or anything of that nature?
Yes,
Okay, and who was that?
my grandmother.
All right, if you can have her.
Okay. I'm sorry, my son, Malachi.
Okay, and where are they?
He's right here.
Okay, if you can. All right, sir, I'll ask if you would, please raise your right hand for me. Do you swear any statements you make to the court will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Can you tell us your name, please?
Malachi McCoy,
All right, and how old are you?
13.
All right, very good. So what we are here for today are some petitions that have been filed regarding protective orders. Just to make sure that I'm understanding the situation correctly, you're Miss McCoy's son, but
Yeah.
you are not Mr. Willis's son. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been witness to any acts of violence between these two?
No. Yes. Yes.
Okay, and when was that?
When Mr. Willis started choking my mom.
Okay, when do you think that happened?
Last year. On November.
And how did you come to witness that?
They pretty much just came into my room.
Okay, and what was happening?
They started Mr. Willis started asking questions of are you supposed to hit a woman, or never you should never hit a woman. Hit a woman unless they hit you. And then we started asking questions of why do you come here every time? And he said because of the children. And he hit my mom.
Okay. And when you say he hit her, how would you describe that?
Mostly choking and slapped.
Okay. Let's see. Mr. Willis, do you have any questions that you think the court needs to ask this witness?
Yeah. Could he explain? Never mind. No, I don't. No, sir.
Okay. So, sir, was this hang on, I have one or two questions. So did this happen when they were still living together?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know when the last time was that you saw Mr. Willis?
No, sir.
Okay. What would your best guess be?
January.
Okay. Was that when some of your siblings went to live with him?
Yes.
Okay. And then before that, was that the last time you would have seen him before that, around the time that he moved out of the home?
Yes.
Okay. Have you two communicated or had contact in any other kind of way since then?
No.
Okay. All right. I think that's all the questions I have. Thank you. All right. Any other witnesses, Ms. McCoy?
Yes, I have my other son, Micah.
All right.
He's nervous, but he's present and willing to talk.
All right. You can put him on.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Hey, Micah, I'm going to ask if you would. Could you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear any statements you make today will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. All right. How old are you, Micah?
11.
All right. We're here today to handle some court business. And I know it's a little weird because I'm a stranger, and it's probably even weirder that we're doing all this on Zoom. We usually get to do this in the room together where we would talk, and it makes it sometimes a little more comfortable. Sometimes maybe it might be a little weirder. I don't know. So when was the last time that you saw Mr. Willis?
A year ago. Last
Okay.
year.
So basically when he moved out?
Yes.
Okay. Have you two been in touch or talked any other kind of way since then?
No.
Okay. Did you ever see any situations where there would have been any violence or anyone putting hands on anybody between him and your mom?
Did you answer?
Yes.
Speak out here. Speak up.
Yes.
Okay. And so about
so
approximately
bad.
when was that? Can you make a good guess for me?
Um.
I don't want you to be stressed about thinking you have to get the exact date right. This doesn't work like that. But what I do want is you seem like a smart kid. I guess I have one about your age, so you're probably 5th or 6th grade. And so make a good, like, was it something that happened during this school year, or did it happen further back than that? Maybe we start there.
November.
Say it again.
November.
Okay. And was he still living in the home at the time?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened that time?
Yeah, I came upstairs and then he said, "Why did you call my mom?" And then she said, my mom said, "Get her hands off of me." And then I had heard, and then she said, "Stop choking me." And then they came in my brother's room. Then they started talking until
So
the police showed up.
so could you see what was going on when they were saying those things?
Yes.
And what was happening?
He had his hands around my mom's neck.
Okay. Was that one or was that both?
I don't know.
Okay.
Did
Did
have
you
one
see any
finger?
injuries or marks?
Yes.
What did you see?
Blood on my mom's finger.
Okay.
Blood on her finger. Whoop.
And when the police came,
There it
did
is.
they
Crack the case.
did anyone get arrested or driven away? Or
No.
okay,
They didn't know that they were here.
All right. I think that's all the questions I have. Mr. Willis, are there any questions that you think need to be asked?
I just want to be able to speak just in general, let them.
Right. So this proceeding is having to be conducted in a bit of a strange way. We can either do it the way we're doing it, or we can have two separate hearings. And a lot of times when you do two fully separate ones, it just kind of eats your whole day. So we're going to try to do that, but I want to make sure that she's done calling her witnesses before you have a chance to offer your testimony.
Yes, sir. If you could just finish them, it won't take long for me. You could just finish them so it'll be easier for you. That's fine.
All right. Well, thank you, Micah. We appreciate you being with us today. And if we can get Miss McCoy back on the screen. Ma'am, that was your last witness?
Yes, my mom has, I guess, evidence to present.
In
Hello.
what form?
I'm sorry. No, I just wanted to say as far as the violence and everything, there is a no trespass order against Mr. Willis for our home that was filed by the sheriff that came to my house, because of the fact that every time Mr. Willis comes to my residence in regards to my daughter, he comes here being verbally abusive,
Okay,
verbally.
Does your daughter live with you?
She was at the time.
Okay, is that the Stratford address or somewhere else?
No, that's another address.
Okay.
And I would just like to say that what he would do is come and be violent and verbally aggressive and verbally abusive towards myself, my daughter, my mother, and my daughter's sister. But when the police come, he would say that he would come to the home because he was worried about the children, that he wanted to do a safety check for the children. And every single time the officers did the safety check on the children, and nothing had been found to validate his case. And the last time that it happened, the officer told me that he was going to put give Mr. Willis the no trespass, because of the fact that he when he does come over, it's proven that he's been aggressive and violent.
All right.
Because every time I made the 911 call as well, that they can hear him over the phone.
All right. So
and this was in December of 2021 is the last time that this happened.
all right. Well, this will be I think this will be the point in the proceedings that having heard from the witnesses, Mr. Willis testified about his petition and now has the opportunity to respond to the claims that have been made in Ms. McCoy's petition and by her witnesses. So, Mr. Willis, you are still under oath. What would you like to tell us?
Number one, as you can tell, this is kind of like scripted. It's not hard to see. Everybody looking for answers and saying all these things that's not valid. You know what stories didn't make sense. So they said the police came, like you said, no one went to jail. Who went to jail? And why does she have blood on her finger? Because I was violated. I have the video. I'm just not trying to press charges and make it no worse than what it is. I just want to make sure my children's straight. They're making, I do have trespassing on me. The reason why, any father who doesn't know where his children at and the mother's incarcerated, you wouldn't know. And the grandmother is telling me she's not telling me where my children are. I can't talk to the mom, she's locked up. They didn't, and this is not the first time that I have bond papers where I bonded her out. You know what I mean? And her father is he already put a statement in for them. So that's the reason why they're going to continue to do these things and make accusations and things like that. By law, as a judge, I'm pretty sure you already know what these things saying have been happening. People will be in jail. Like, it's not that, I haven't been around. There's no reason. I'm the one that took my children to go get checked because of this sexual situation. And Michael was the one of the accusation. And forensics say they said it themselves. They can't tell that somebody is penetrated, no disrespect, but just to be blunt, they can't tell that didn't happen. But how would you tell of the others how could you tell of that? So they put on record and they have them in counseling. They're listening to the children. I'm not making the accusation. You know what I mean? They're trying to make it look like it's me coming for them. No, the police call me every time to come get my children. 4 or 5 times. She keep going to jail for kidnapping of them, her kids. It's already court orders going back and forth, and it's coming from her own mom, the one sitting right next to her. Look at the court cases. Now it happened, and it's more than one baby father. Now that it's on me, basically, I can't see you, Judge.
That's not, I don't think that's a me problem. And what I mean by that is I don't think that's something that's an issue there. So let me ask a member of the team, Miss Broom or Miss George, can you see me?
I can see you now.
Okay.
I can see you now.
All right. Sometimes it is a me issue. Sometimes I do make stuff happen by accident.
I think it's when Miss McCoy jumped in, it goes away and it makes Miss McCoy.
You might want to try switching to gallery views. I have about seven little windows at once that have the two of you and the members of our court team all up together, but that doesn't look as good on mobile. I'm on a laptop, so I do have a bigger screen to work with.
Right.
Well, here's what I can say about this. Mr. Willis, I don't think I asked this question. So you two were never married and the legitimation process was not completed. Is that correct?
Yes, we actually went to legitimization court, and they basically just told me they made a decision, to leave, the children remain with me, and that I have to do a DNA test. But other
That's
than
not
that,
what happened, Judge.
Well, we're not going to go back and forth about it, but the regardless of what was said, it didn't happen.
The reason being, I just want to make it clear that the reason being why the kids are not with me is because in that time frame, Mr. Willis went to go take out a TPO, and the court.
No, we've already done this. We're not doing it again.
Right. I'm just saying.
No.
So I'm just letting you know.
And you have at least twice.
Okay.
So, Mr. Willis, the legitimation process was not completed for these 4 children, correct?
Yes, they actually gave us another court date.
So you have an upcoming court date and that case is still open.
Yes,
no, it is not. I have the paperwork right here. That's why I'm saying he's confused.
I don't understand why I ask questions to him and someone else keeps answering. That is the craziest thing. All right, Mr. Willis, is this case in DeKalb County or is it somewhere else?
It's in DeKalb County.
Okay, and is that in your name or someone else's name?
It's under my name.
All right, you may or may not know the answer to this. Is it one case for 4 separate cases for each child, or is it set up differently?
It's just like it started from defects, so it's like a package. It's like everybody on one case. It's really the children on the case, just the TPO. I put the kid children on there because of the accusations, and he still lives with them, and it's still, it could continue to happen because they was under mother's care when it did happen. So it could continue to happen.
Well, what do you have a case number that pertains to that cause of action?
What was it?
It may be something like a 22 FM or a 23 FM.
Yeah, it was. It was 22 FM. Her name is on it too. She actually showed up in court too. And the judge even said, now that you know, she said, I knew about the TPO Saturday, but I wasn't served. And then the judge said, well, you just said it on air. So now you've been served. Because we've been having a situation that they can't catch her, so it was just like, it's just all a mess. But like I said, it's not me going after her. It's situations that she's messing up, and I'm stepping up like a father. That's simple. So I do have a trespassing because, like I said, I pulled over there when she.
My girl Denny's in the house. Old school OG with me in the chat rooms. What up, Denny?
He was arrested, so I didn't know where my children were.
He's getting his dates mixed up and situations and people.
So I have a case 22 FM 2600.
I think that is it.
Okay, and what I have is that this matter is transferred to juvenile court for further investigation, appointment of a guardian ad litem, determination of issues of custody, visitation, and child support, and it carries on from there. And so the matter went to juvenile court in November. So what do you believe, Mr. Willis, happened since November?
We once we went, you said since November. That's
Right.
not even that. No, that might not be the same case. No, this is a current case. Like we just went to court. Like what? The 7th.
When do you think you have court again?
They said in September. They already emailed me the court date.
You think you have a court date in 6 months?
Yes, that's when they moved it back until September. And the lady of Lightem, or if I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, they would have gave the children back. They would have did everything right there in court. You know what I mean? They just gave me some things to do and things to do for the kids, which is counseling and everything. The kids are already in school. I've talked to these people every day. I'm the one with the children, so I don't know if her side on or whatever they have with her probably is closed, but this case is still open.
All right. All right, so here's what we have. Each of these cases has to be decided separately based on the relevant facts and law that are applicable to them. Mr. Willis, your case was the first case on the calendar. And while I certainly understand your fears and concerns in relation, especially to children, even more so than we feel for our own protection, here is the question we have to answer. The first question is, do we have jurisdiction over the case? The answer to both of these petitions is an easy and obvious yes. Now, the second question is, have there been acts of family violence committed? Mr. Willis, in your case, the obvious answer to that is no. Great, and I'm grateful for that. I think we can all be grateful that we can say no one has physically harmed any of the children that are involved here. I hope that we can, as contentious as these things are when people find ourselves here, we can be grateful that there are no allegations here that something truly that would be traumatic on a whole other different level than the things we've talked about has happened.
Well, actually, on that case, it is said that, I mean, they're listening to the children. That's why I was trying to see.
Yeah, but Mr. Willis, I got to mute you here. I don't have proof that something happened. And even if something did happen, God forbid, there's no allegation that's been made that Miss McCoy did it. So just because something happens on her watch as a parent, that's different in a protective order setting, not DFACS, not family court, but in a protective order setting, she is only responsible essentially for the intentional acts that she commits, not that, or puts someone up to it. But if something happens while she's the parent in charge, so to speak, even if that were 100% true, even if she said it did happen and I feel terrible about it, that's not actionable in a TPO context. Because there is not proof here today that anything has been done to the 4 children you share with her that would constitute an act of family violence, I can't grant that TPO. Now, with respect to the second petition that Miss McCoy has filed, the 3 questions we have to answer: jurisdiction, we already did that. The second question, have there been acts of family violence committed? And the third question, is this order reasonably likely to prevent future acts of family violence? I don't believe that I need to grant this TPO either. The extent of the contact between the two of you over the last 4+ months, has been the situation where DFACS allowed him and called upon him to retrieve the children from the residence. This is not a situation where there are ongoing threats. The allegations that are being testified to in court, even if they were credible, were from 5.5, 6 months back. And we have not had, and they come about at a time and in a way that I don't believe All the parties in the case have testified that there has not been recent contact or recent issues involving Mr. Willis. Now, what I will say is, Mr. Willis, your legitimation process is an ongoing process. It is not a complete process. I do not have, the court that you are dealing with is not a court whose records I have immediate access to the same way as if the case was still in Superior Court. So both right now and moving forward, I don't know what privileges or obligations that court has conveyed upon you in regards to the children. But what I can say is, absent a court order that either legitimates the child or gives you some kind of temporary or provisional visitation or custody, those rights remain with Ms. McCoy. And so if that has been done through DFACS or through juvenile court or through someone else, I don't have that in front of me. But what I can tell you is that if a court order gives it to you, you have it. If that court order does not exist, those children remain primarily with Ms. McCoy until such time that a court order steps in and dictates otherwise. This has been a bit of a circus, to be quite frank, but I do thank you both for the most part. Considering how these cases go, the two of you have been civil with me and with each other in a way that I am grateful for, and I do want to say that. But these things don't arrive in front of me to be decided unless a lot of things have already happened. That's just the reality of these situations. Both of you have by and large carved out your separate paths moving forward. And while the two of you do share these 4 children, I think the pattern that has been shown over these last 4 to 6 months is that you can continue to live your lives and successfully parent these children separate from each other. And in some ways, that is an impressive testament to how each of you has moved on as adults, because whatever feelings you have for each other or toward each other, I guess is the way I should say that, are not affecting either of your wishes to parent the kids that you share, nor do they seem to be interfering with your ability to do so. And so juvenile court or whatever other courts may get involved in this will handle issues of custody, legitimation, child support, visitation, etc., on the schedule that they dictate and on the terms that they dictate. Both of the petitions that have been filed, neither petition was ever served, but you both chose to move forward. And so what will happen in regards to those 2 case numbers is a dismissal without prejudice. Once that dismissal without prejudice is entered, understand that the situation will lay based on whatever orders have been pronounced by either Family and Children Services, juvenile court, or both in regards to the custody and placement of the children. And so I'm going to have you both placed in the waiting room for the time being, and from there you will both be free to log off. Thank you for your time.
The guy had his hand up the entire time. Didn't get up off the toilet the entire hearing. All right, just like I said in the chat, my girl Denny is in the chat. She's up late. She's going to be saying hello to people in court at 8 o'clock in the morning in Judge Middleton's room. So just for her, I'm going to throw a bonus Judge Bryant that I wasn't going to show from today. Let's roll.
They did a police officer fleeing in the attempted, in the 4th degree.
Yeah, okay. All right, so let me see if probation reached out to me. Hold on.
Okay.
They did. Let's see what they said. They said she was placed on probation on January 16th for 6 months. That's all. That's interesting. She had to pay $770. It was non-reporting. 3 days of community service. Today, on July 21st, it looks like I extended her probation. She had to pay an additional $25 in oversight fees and 12 weeks of anger management. The defendant last appeared via Zoom on April 12th, 2022, and was given the last chance to comply with all terms and conditions of probation and failed to, the probation will be revoked. She would receive, that don't even sound like, this right here don't sound like me. So she would serve 1 day, but that meant, she meant 1 year. And then I said, and if it was a 6 month, if it was a 1 year misdemeanor, or if it was a 93-day misdemeanor, she would serve 93 days. And now she's in front of me without having complied with the probation. Ms. Shive?
Yes, Your Honor. This is a older case that could have been done with, and Miss Underwood understands that.
No, I don't think she does, because sound like I said she had one more chance, and she threw that chance out the window.
So and I did explain to Miss Underwood that the court will say, you know, that probation is the alternative to jail and jail is the alternative to probation. Miss Underwood explained to me that she was unable to finish probation because it was hard for her to take off work, which is not an excuse, but she was too scared to lose the job that she had. And now we're in a situation where she's 3 months pregnant, according to her.
Oh, and gonna lose the job and be in jail while she's pregnant. That does seem like she made the wrong decision. Seem like she chose the wrong thing.
So I am hoping that we are able to find a solution for Miss Underwood, and Miss Underwood, you know, doesn't end up taking a turn of this way, when this could have been resolved with the probation within a short amount of time. And it was, yes, pled down to a misdemeanor from a felony, and Miss Underwood understands that. And now, you know, she's 3 months pregnant, and this is such an old, well, it is a couple of years old. So I would really hate for Miss Underwood to go to jail while being pregnant on a case that could have been resolved on an older case. So I know that the court told Miss Underwood that that was absolutely her last chance. But I guess all we can do now is beg the court and try to convince the court that Miss Underwood has no other choice.
Yeah, but she doesn't have a choice, because last year we were here in the same place, and I said this was her last chance last year. That's what I said last year. I said this is her last chance to do this 6-month probation on a case that she could have went to jail for 6 months. So she's been given grace for the whole time. It was reduced to a misdemeanor, grace. She was only given 6 months probation, grace. She came back after not doing the probation and was given some more time. Her probation was extended, grace. She came back again without having done the probation. And what was extended to her? Grace. And then on that occasion, I said out of my own mouth, Grace is leaving the room. It's gone. It's gone. It's your last chance. And what did Miss Underwood do? She said, I don't care nothing about what that judge said. Bump that. I'm gonna take my chances. Well, now here we are. And she took her chances and lost. She took her chances and lost. And so I'm not interested in her doing probation, because it's clear to me that she doesn't want to do the probation. So the court is left with no choice but to revoke the probation. I believe this is a 6-month misdemeanor, punishable by up to 6 months in a Wayne County jail. It was probably a 1-year misdemeanor before. I don't know. Ms. Ritter, turn your camera back on. Are you able to look up and tell me what attempted fleeing and eluding is? Do you have the?
I can look it up real quick for the court, Judge.
Please look that up for me, because I'm scared if I switch out, it's gonna kick me off of Zoom.
I can look it up too.
Is there a reason? Did Miss Underwood give you a reason? Oh, you said because she didn't want to miss work, which is the biggest farce. That's the biggest farce. That was the biggest farce, because looking at her terms and conditions of probation, looking at the terms and conditions of her probation, what was she gonna have to miss work to do?
I'm looking, Your Honor.
She was ordered to pay $770 and do three little days of community service. What was she gonna have to miss work to do? And she did nothing. So help me understand, what was she gonna miss work to do? Your client has her hand up.
Miss Underwood,
Yes, ma'am. Am I able to talk?
and that's up to the judge, not me, and I want you to be careful with what you said, and you heard what the court had to say. But that's up to Judge Bryant, not me.
As long as she's gonna do it in a respectful manner, because the way she just said that is putting me on guard. Go ahead, ma'am. You may speak.
I'm sorry. I definitely didn't mean that. Your Honor, I work at the post office. I work 7 a.m., usually from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Like with me going to, what is it called? If I'm not mistaken, drop. When I have to like go do the urine, the blood test, and things like that, it only runs from certain hours at the Samaritan Center over on Connor. So it might be from 8 o'clock in the morning to maybe like 10. It only give a short amount of a window to get there and be able to do it. And then it'll open from like 3 to like 4, something like that. So that would be like an issue. The post office is very, very demanding, like extremely demanding. Like I'm on bed rest and everything now because of it. Not even just that. Even trying to do like anger management, that they only give a certain amount of windows for that. I even tried to do the community service. When I tried to do the community service, I pulled up personally to the computer center over, I want to say Warren and Cummings. When I did that, they told me that is not, that they was like, man, we don't do it, cussing me out about that. Security, everybody, like, we don't even do that. What are you talking about? It's like, I've actually tried. It's not that I did not try. Anything that you have ever told me has never been just, oh, I'm not going to do that. Me and you had a talk. I wouldn't disrespect you like that. You told me I remind you of your daughter. I don't mean it like that, honestly. And I'm so serious. And I really want to get this behind me. I'm trying to be a better person. I've been a better person. I did that in 2020. Bro, I really want to get this behind me. And that's just being honest. But probation, it was very hard. This is my first time being in trouble, and it's not even me. The situation didn't even happen how it seemed like it happened. I actually have a video of me getting snatched off the bike and everything. I never was able to present it, nothing, anything like that. I barely had any voice, and I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about literally, it went from Mr. Judge Giles, went from his hands, the file being lost on numerous occasions, everything. This is my first time ever really talking to you. Last time, you remember?
Now that you reminded me, I do.
Yeah, you told me put your hair up. I don't want to see your hair like that. And I got smart with you. You said anger management, but you know what? I actually thought about it. You told me you must have woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You ain't gonna do this in this courtroom. I thought about it. I can't come in here angry. You didn't do nothing to me. I did it to myself. So I understand. I'm mature. And yes, pregnant in jail, that is not something I want to do. I can't even eat bologna. I don't eat that. I don't eat meat. I'm a vegetarian.
Mr. Blake, you see her talking, she don't even know what y'all be eating. You say you only eat vegetarian. You think they only serving bologna in jail?
They do. It was a bologna, a cracker, and an egg. And I can't do that.
That's what they gave you?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you got arrested?
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
they ought to be ashamed for serving baloney to anybody.
They didn't want to give water, and I'm a water connoisseur.
They don't let you drink water.
They don't want to. They'll do it. They'll say you
Yeah.
get it out the sink. Use the cart. I went to over on Dickerson, I think, just a holding cell, and they tell you use the cart and you get you some out that sink. I'm not a faucet girl. I don't like faucet water.
So you sound like you need to stay out of jail, Miss Underwood.
I don't go to jail.
Right. Okay.
That's not for me. And
You
I
right.
prayed for this. I can't do it.
I want you to tell me what I said about your hair. You said I made you change your hairstyle?
Yes, ma'am. You have locks too. I learned that you had locks.
Right.
I came in and I had my hair. That's why I was in a ponytail today. You see it? Ponytail.
But
I
what
came in.
Your hair?
It was at the top of my head, and it was like just like a messy
falling all
bun,
down
but
in your face and
it
stuff.
was some everywhere. And but you
okay.
were right. Just because I'm at home, that don't mean you still have to look presentable. Or
Of
like
course.
right.
Okay. Look at Miss. Okay. See. Okay. Well, here's the situation that you find yourself in, and whoops, that's the wrong thing I pulled up. Hold on. Where's my? Oh, I must have came. I made a mistake and clicked off. Hold on. Let me come back to the email. Excuse me. Underwood. All right. So Miss McCall says that Miss Underwood paid the money. She didn't do the community service. I don't know what you mean with. Did we send you to that location?
I was able to pick at one point, and when I picked there, I tried to go there. It was like the only place that let me come like a little after, because I guess you could clean up and do things like that.
Right.
So that's why I picked there, because my job so demanding. If I have to stay over, I have to like stay over. They kind of post office rule you. It's kind of selling your soul.
Oh my.
I'm serious. Rain, sleet, or snow, they meant just that. Like,
yeah, they mean that thing, but they don't deliver that mail like they used to. So you tested last year, and then your tests were negative. You have an outstanding warrant on a traffic case, it looks like, and you have a traffic balance. So let me ask you this question. Now that you're on bed rest, you could do that anger management, can't you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So let's do that. And you said I added to anger management. You were charged with fleeing and eluding. I didn't have anger management on there already?
No, ma'am. You charged me with fleeing and eluding because when you said that about my hair, I got snobby, and you told me, and you.
Miss Underwood, I am going to not put you in jail for Miss Ritter. What kind of misdemeanor is this?
So, Judge, attempted fleeing in lieu of fourth degree is a 1-year misdemeanor.
Oh my! I won't put you in jail for a year. That would mean you would have to have your baby in jail. That would be awful.
Yes, ma'am.
I am going to reinstate your probation because apparently you've been in warrant status. I'm going to discontinue your drug screens. You did test negative the few times you did go. I'm going to hold on, I got to pull it up again. All right, I'm going to discontinue your drug screens, but I want you to do the anger management. You did pay, and then if you provide me proof that you're on bed rest, I will waive the community service. So proof that you're on bed rest, and now that you're on bed rest, you can do the anger management because I think they do it on Wednesdays or something.
Yes, ma'am.
And then I'll discharge you from probation. So probation, instated. How long you gonna be on bed rest? For the whole pregnancy?
Probably. To be honest, I had complications before, and they kind of just, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
All right, well, I'm gonna reinstate you for another 6 months. And then if you can get the stuff done, you can be discharged before that. But the anger management is only every once a week. But I'm gonna give you a 3-month review, see how you're doing, and see, what's going on with you personally in terms of your bed rest, and then we might do something with that too, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is March, April, May, June. I'm gonna have you come back to see me at the beginning of July. July the
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that bonus clip. Hope you smash the like button. Hope you go over to my girl, Kitchen Court Cases. She's scouring the internet all day to bring you quality clips. She's cooking. We're having fun. It's a lot of people in this chat hopping over there. So I implore you, I'll be over there hanging out before I go to bed. I always get a little kitsch before I go to bed. Thank you for everything. I'll see you same bad time, same bad channel. Thank you for everything, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.